Hey guys, it's Jen over at jenscrappypages.blogspot.com, and this is today's project. I got this stamp set because it's carrying over into the new catalog, and while it's been around with Stampin' Up for a while, it's new to me. So I was pretty excited to get it and start playing with it. The supplies that I used are the sprinkles embellishments, which are on the retiring list and are marked down and available on the website. I also used the ruched ribbon, and just quick, I went to go get all of the supplies to make this, and I realized I did not have enough of the Peekaboo Peach Ruched Ribbon, so we're changing up the colors of this card. So this one that I used is the Flirty Flamingo, and it is also retiring and marked down. So, and then I used some delicate white doilies and a little bit of linen thread. The stamp set that I used is the Thoughts and Prayers, and I used this plus one of the sentiments from this one. So I just really loved how soft and delicate this stamp set is. And then I used the brick wall embossing folder. I can't remember exactly what this is called. But while I have it out quick, I wanted to show you what I did with it because I already pre-embossed. So when I embossed this, I kept it kind of in the center of where these lines were, and also kept it going, you know, horizontally with my piece of paper. So I will mark down and tell you what that is called when I am done with the video. I used the Early Espresso ink pad, some of the fine tip glue pen, and I used the Early Espresso, Peekaboo Peach, Emerald Envy, and Flirty Flamingo Stampin' Write markers to color in my image. For cardstock, you are going to need, if you so choose to recreate this project, a 4 1/4 by 11 craft cardstock, a 5/8 by 4, and then Flirty Flamingo or the Peekaboo Peach, whichever you prefer, 4 by 5 1/4. And then our very vanilla cardstock is 2 7/8 by 3 3/4 and 2 1/8 by 3 3/4. And basically what I did in order to get this embossed edge down here is I took a 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of paper, and I cut it so I could emboss the bottom and keep the top the way it is, plain. So let's get to the stamping, and I'm not going to stamp right now, but we are going to color in the image. And so I just recently got all of the markers, which I can't believe I waited this long to get them because I've just been having a lot of fun with it. So what I did is I colored in my image with all of the markers and then stamped it out. So I just went over it, and I kind of used the side of my marker instead of the tip to color this in. So that's not going to get that. So this one's going to get the Flirty Flamingo, and then I'm going to move up here, and I'm going to get these flowers and these two as well with it. And then I'm going to take my Peekaboo Peach and color in the rest of the flowers with that. Next, I'm going to take my Emerald Envy, and I'm going to color in all of the leaves. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Early Espresso, and I'm going to color in all of the stem. And then what you're going to want to do is once that's all colored in, you're going to want to huff on it. Some of you guys who've been stamping a while might know that, but if you haven't and you're kind of new at this, what the huffing will do is it'll bring back the color and make it basically kind of wet again. So forgive me, I'm going to huff on this a few times, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp down. I think I got some on my lips. I'm going to bring this down so I can see it, and you're going to want to get this as close to the edge as possible without completely going over it. And that is what you will end up having. Isn't that really cool? So then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stamp out our sentiment using the early espresso pad. And I just love the sentiments in here. I think it's going to quickly become one of my favorite stamp sets. That is so pretty. Okay, so the rest of it is going to be assembling the card. And then I'll add the extra embellishments on at the end. So we are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to take this and we're going to adhere it onto our Flirty Flamingo. And that's just going to get adhered here towards the top, making sure all of your edges are even. And then we're going to take our embossed piece, and that is going to go just directly underneath of it. It's like putting a puzzle back together from cutting it. And then the next thing we are going to do is we're going to take our twine, and this is something that's kind of a little new to me. I'm not very good at like layering and adding little embellishments and stuff. So this was kind of, you know, I don't know. It's a trial and error thing for me. I'm trying new things, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So I think what I'm going to do is trying to figure out what I'm going to do. That's why I'm still talking. I'm going to get a little glue dot, and this then is going to get, it's not going to get put on yet because we're going to put our doily on, and be very careful when you are adhering, when you're putting adhesive on the doily, because it does tear pretty easily. And all I did was just cut one of these doilies in half, and then that's going to go right at your little line between the two pieces of paper that you have, your two very vanilla. And then I think this is going to go, just going to kind of put it over here to the side a little bit. And then I'm going to cut off this extra stuff that is hanging out here because we don't want that outside of it. And then maybe just kind of separate these a little bit so they look kind of haphazard. I don't know. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw on top of that our craft cardstock. And you want to make sure that this has quite a bit of adhesive on it because it is going to stick down over the twine. And so that's just going to go, you're going to kind of sandwich that twine in between there, and going to go down, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch below the sentiment. So, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. Oh goodness. Sometimes my videos come together perfectly, or as perfect as possible, and then sometimes I just completely lose and forget what I'm trying to say. So we're just going to wrap this around just like this. And I think this is turning out really pretty in that Flirty Flamingo. What do you think? So I think then what I'm going to go ahead and do is pop dot this using our dimensionals. And that's just going to come down here on top of your card base. So pretty simple. And let's tie a bow. Let's see how well I can get this tied today. Sometimes I wrap it around the ribbon that's, you know, wrapped around my card, but for this one I decided to go ahead and just tie the bow and stick it on and call it good. So again, when I make my bows, I just kind of start with the ears a little bit bigger and work my way down. All right, so I think that is going to be good enough, and I kept my little tails a little bit longer with this. We're just gonna get our little glue dot, and he's gonna get stuck right down here, kind of in between where that twine is. I'm trying not to get that too much over to where my sentiment is. And my ribbon is actually kind of behaving for me today, so I don't think I'll take any glue dots and stick that down. And then last but not least is going to be our little sprinkles. And I took, and I will fast forward through this as I get going, but I took these little pieces that were kind of that kind of pinky, and those are going to go onto the pink flowers. And then there's this even smaller little yellow sequin, and those are going to get adhered down onto my yellow flowers. And then in each, let's see, there is some little tiny pearls in here. And so I just took the pearls, and in the bigger pink sequins, I put a pearl in the center of each one. And so I'm going to go ahead and use my fine tip glue pen and my tweezers and attempt to glue all of these down. Okay, so I'm not going to pick this up right now because all of the embellishments are still wet. Well, I guess maybe I could kind of pick it up and show you. But what do you think? And I don't know if I don't know which one I like better now. I really like it in this Flirty Flamingo, but I loved it in the Peekaboo Peach when I first did it. So that's it. That's the card. And I hope you enjoyed this video, even though I was a little bit scattered today. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I will have dimensions up on my blog and a supply list that you can print out if you so choose, along with the supply list. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.